Oh, time is a road I'm wandering traveler. I'm gonna find her, I'm gonna know. She's an island, I am a sailor. I'm gonna find my rest on her shore. Hi there, my name is Will Durden, and this is my pitch video for my new musical, Walking in Between. I apologize in advance for the poor quality of this video and for the random assortment of images. I'm pretty new to iMovie, and it shows. So, let's get into it. Walking in Between is an original singer-songwriter-inspired musical that sheds a hopeful light on the heavily stigmatized topic of mental illness. The story, as narrated by his therapist, follows a year in the life of a boy named Liam Donovan. Liam is a diagnosed schizophrenic working as a clerk in a guitar store who longs to one day become a successful musician. Because of Liam's condition, he struggles to communicate with others and has trouble differentiating between fantasy and reality. This has left him as an outcast to society. Because of this, Liam ends up subconsciously creating a physical manifestation of his desire for attention and self-worth in the form of an imaginary man named Jason Ross. Harkening on Liam's intense feelings of loneliness and detachment, Jason convinces Liam that there is a beautiful girl waiting for him on the other side of the world, and that the only way to win her love is to write the perfect song. As he sets out to accomplish this impossible task, he comes into contact with an eccentric girl named June, who challenges his perception of himself and the world around him. Along with his therapist and fellow group therapy members, June allows Liam to see that there could be something more to life than what lies inside our heads. Thus, the message of this musical, as told through original singer-songwriter music, is that no amount of delusions, defenses, or even bouts of psychosis can blind us to the greater truth of life. That to live without love is to not live at all. But how did this story come to be? In all honesty, Walking in Between began as sort of an accident. I had always been inspired by individuals I knew who, despite struggling with mental illness, managed to remain resilient and hopeful. I had also always enjoyed creating original music, but I had never thought to combine these two things into an original musical theater show. It wasn't until someone I knew, who had recently been diagnosed with schizophrenia, came up to me and told me that I needed to write a story that gave hope to people like him. Initially, I didn't know where to begin. But when my theater director at my high school signed me up for the Texas Thespians Musical Works competition without me knowing, I knew I had to get busy on something. The problem was, I didn't like musicals very much, and I certainly didn't know how to write a song that would resonate with musical theater fans. Eventually, though, I just said, screw it, and wrote a simple song the way that made sense to me, with a guitar and a piece of paper. This eventually turned into the full opening number and concept to a new musical entitled Walking in Between. I didn't think much would come of it at first, but a few weeks later, my director informed me that the song had won first place at the competition, which was insane. Once we were at the festival, we actually got to perform it in front of hundreds of students, so here's a little clip from that.
On the door, plant your feet on the floor and hope they call you. Pound your fist on the door, plant your feet on the floor and hope they call you. Pound your on the door, plant your feet on the floor and hope
that was really fun. So after we performed, we had so many kids come up to us and tell us that they loved the idea for the show, and all of them were really insistent that the rest of the story needed to be told. So I made the decision then and there that I wouldn't stop until the full show was complete. Flash forward to now. I'm at UT, we're in the middle of a pandemic, and the application for the Cohen New Works Festival sits open on my laptop. I finished writing the script, and Walking in Between is now a 15-song musical, and counting. We also have a new cast and crew and a reading on the way. The Cohen New Works Festival is our opportunity to reach more people with this story's message. I know that COVID guidelines will be strict, and safety is obviously our number one priority, but we hope to film the performance in person with no audience and then broadcast it during the festival. It is my hope that this show would inspire greater empathy toward those who are different from us, whether that is physically or mentally. I hope these words ring true to anyone who watches Walking in Between. May we all become more humbled and more compassionate from the story of Liam Donovan.